Some baggage. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We have a lot of special services in May. Every Saturday, Erev Saturday, we've had something except tonight. So this crowd, which is a very nice crowd, is the smallest we're going to get in May because of all the wonderful things that we've had happen and will happen. But to you in the room, y'all are troopers. So thank you so much for being here, whether you're physically in the room, whether you are virtually in the room. It is so wonderful to celebrate Shabbat with CBT. But we do have what to celebrate because tomorrow, Michelle Sass graduates with a degree in broadcasting, and if you'll excuse me, with high honors. Yes, and that means the same thing in California as it does in Ohio, right? It's not anything nefarious. Okay, good. So it's California. You gotta ask. So in honor of her high honors and graduating tomorrow, we're going to have Michelle light our Shabbat candles. And you can find the blessings on pages 2 and 3.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light. So may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Please rise. Doing great. Everyone together, please.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech
haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. And Mazel Tov. You may be seated. We're going to take a couple of deep breaths as we think through our week. I won't guide you through every day of the week, but pick out an event, something that happened that you would really like to let go of. Because typically, after about 6 days of dealing with the world, there's something we want to let go of. So find that thing in your week. And take a deep breath and blow it away. And then with our second breath, we turn to page 20 for Lecha Dodi.
Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likrat kala, v'nei Shabbat nekabela, lecha Shabbat lechu v'necha, ki mekor habracha, lerosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'mashavat tchila. Lecha dodi likrat chalom, v'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat chalom, v'nei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, ki morech uri ori, uri shir daberi, kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha dodi likrat chalom, v'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat chalom, v'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Rise and face the doors.
Boi v'shalom ateret balam, gam besimcha u'bzorom, toch emunei am segula. Boi hala, boi hala. Lecha dodi likrat chalom, v'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat chalom, v'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Page 28. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach she'arim, u'vitvuna meshane itim, u'machalif et hazmanim, u'mesader et hakochavim b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono. Bore yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, u'ma'avir yom u'mevi layla, u'mavdil ben yom u'vein layla, Adonai tzvaot shmo. El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth.
The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love.
This is 39. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
Envelope marked personal, God addressed me a letter. In an envelope marked personal, I have given my answer. We rise for the Amidah, beginning on page 46.
בקנאי הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואמהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו ואהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. מוריד הטל, מחגל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסירים, ומקיים אמונתו, משנה עפר, מלחמוך בגבורות, ומיתו מלך, מלך ממית מחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה, ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
We take a moment for our own personal prayers, and whenever you're finished, you may be seated.
Shalom, Tov Uvracha. Sim Shalom, Sim Shalom.
We continue with Seder Kriyat HaTorah, our service for reading the Torah, page 246. Page 246, please rise.
Ki b'tzion tetzei Torah, ki b'tzion tetzei Torah, udvar Adonai Yerushalayim. Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, le'amo Yisrael be'kedushato. Adonai Adonai Ativeret ve'hanetzach ki ha'shamayim va'aretz, ki ha'shamayim va'aretz. Adonai ha'mamacha ve'havit ma'aseh lechol lerosh. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'yistachavu lechol kodesho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'yistachavu lechol kodesho.
You may be seated. One of the reasons Bechukotai is everyone's favorite parasha is because it means the end of the book of Leviticus. In a book devoted to divine commandments and the priestly caste, we end with a vision of covenantal theology. The parasha begins, "If you follow my laws and faithfully observe my commandments, I will grant your rains in their season, so that the earth shall yield its produce, and the trees of the field their fruit. Your threshing shall overtake the vintage, and your vintage shall overtake the sowing. You shall eat your fill of bread and dwell securely in your land. I will grant peace in the land, and you shall lie down untroubled by anyone. I will give the land respite from vicious beasts, and no sword shall cross your land." Then, after some details of this glorious blessing for the faithful, we get the other side of the coin. "But if you do not obey me, and you do not observe all these commandments, if you reject my laws and spurn my rules, so that you do not observe all my commandments, and you break my covenant, I in turn will do this to you. I will wreak misery upon you, consumption and fever, which cause the eyes to pine and the body to languish. You shall sow seed to no purpose, for your enemies shall eat of it." We've heard this before, though perhaps not in such great detail. In total, there are 7 verses describing the blessing we will reap should we remain faithful to God. 7 verses of blessing, followed by 32 verses of the horrible things that will happen should we not obey God. Or worse, resort to idolatry. Each verse gets worse and worse, describing the horrors that will befall a wayward and defiant Israelite nation. The idea that if we do good, good things will happen, and if we do bad, bad things will happen, is an idea that does not get much dispute in the Bible. There are some later books, like the book of Job, that express doubts about this belief, but for the most part, we don't get real expressions of concern for this kind of belief until Maimonides, who points out that whether you pay for a seed or steal it, it has the same chance of growing into a plant. Dr. Judith Plaskow points out that an interesting link between this parasha and the book of Job, in that these are the only two biblical passages to invoke the phrase ale nidaf, a driven leaf, as a metaphor for disconnection. In this week's Torah portion, near the end of the curses for disobedience, we read, V'radaf otam kol ale nidaf. The sound of a driven leaf shall put them to flight, referring to the paranoia suffered by anyone lucky enough to survive God's wrath of punishments. When Job pleads with God, he asks, Ale nidaf ta'arot? Will you harass a driven leaf? Asking God to make God's presence known so Job might understand what all the punishments are about. Plaskow also makes the connection between these two phrases in the title of Milton Steinberg's novel from 1939, As a Driven Leaf. The novel is about what happens to Rabbi Elisha ben Abuya when he rejects God and all the commandments. As the story goes, both in Steinberg's novel and in the Talmud, Elisha ben Abuya sees a father ask his son to fetch some eggs from a nest. The boy gets a ladder, shoos the birds away, and retrieves the eggs. Now, both of these actions, obeying his father and shooing the birds before collecting the eggs, have in the Torah a very specific reward. You will live a long life. Abuya is sure the boy will be similarly rewarded as he watches this scene unfold, until, eggs in hand, the boy falls off the ladder, lands on his head, and dies. Observing this and knowing full well what the Torah says about both laws, Abuya denounces God and declares there is no real justice in the world. He becomes, in Plaskow's words, a Jew who is cut off from God and community and has no moorings nor comfort. The idea that a rabbi like Elisha ben Abuya is so badly cut off from the Jewish community that his former colleagues refer to him as acher, the other, is a fate just as bad as the curses outlined in the 32 verses of this week's parasha. Following the commandments is not only a way to show our faith in God, it is how we stay connected to the community. You all are following commandments tonight, just by being here, online or in person. You are observing Shabbat. Shabbat is one of those 613 things that keep us all together when the world would keep us apart. Our commandments, outlined here in our Torah, give us life. They create connections between us and Jews all over the world. They give us the feeling of shared success every time a Jewish person earns an honor or a reward. They give us our shared sense of life, of trust, and of hope, that even when someone slips, we are here to bring them back and to show them that the Jewish community under the tree of life is a great blessing indeed. So we'll read from the beginning of the parasha. Excuse me. I have already translated it, but you can find it again on page 957 in your Plout commentary if you want to follow along. It starts on verse 3, or if you're following in the Hebrew, it's right under the 3 pays that are separating the two portions of Hebrew. For the Aliyah this evening, in memory of Lucida Greenberg's yahrzeit this week, we invite the Greenberg family. Ya'amdu Mishpachat Greenberg La'alei Ala Torah. Oh yeah, all yeah.
Baruch et Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Michol Hamim V'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Im b'chukotai telchu ve'et mitzvotai tishmeru ve'asitem otam ve'natati gishmechem be'itam ve'natna ha'aretz yivula ve'etz hasadeh yitain piryo ve'hisig lachem dayish et batzir uvatzir yasig et zara v'achaltem lechmechem li sova ve'yishtavam levetach be'artechem.
Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Natan Lanu Torah Emet V'chayo Olam Nata B'Eloheinu Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Torah open before us, we take into our hearts, into our prayers, those in our community, those in our lives who need a Mishaberach for healing. Tonight we are thinking especially of Bobby Becker, Merle Carter Prop, Sandra Cohen, Nancy Danger, Larry Dratch, Pilar Gill, Michelle Gifford, Adrian Greenberg, Risa Heller, Bev Hirsch, Ira Hirsch, Julie Holdaway, Shannon Howard, Lori Larin, Steve Ostrin, Marlene Perutka, Lonnie Pinkham, Ron Ross, Robert Slade, Harris Stutman, Janice Tankinson, Mark Titus, Aviva Bat Moralea, Avraham Ben Tova, Bonaleba Bat Ruth, Chayalea Bat Miriam, Sarah Rivka Bat Nisan, Esther Malka Chana Bat Batya Ruth, Yochanan Atzil Shmuel Ben Avraham Vasara, Leah Bat Avraham Vasara, Sharon Bat Avraham Vasara, Tzipora Bat Sorel Vilazar. And before I ask for names, just a reminder that if you know of someone in the community who needs our prayers and you want to say their names aloud, sometimes we say their names in Hebrew because they want to remain anonymous. So only if you are sure that they want their names read aloud, we invite you to say their name or put it in the chat. Otherwise, say it quietly.
The Osborne family.
those whose names we say aloud and those whose names remain on our hearts. Be blessed with a complete healing as we say together. Amen. We are going to continue with Hagba and Galila. And as the Torah is lifted, we invite you all to please rise.
We're going to count the
Count the Omer, page
Omer.
278, counting the Omer.
Hineni mukhan umzuman, Hineni mukhan umzuman, Hineni mukhan umzuman, Chaye mitzvat hazeh, shel sirat ha'omer.
We are ready to fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. Our praise to you, Adonai, sovereign of all, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to count the Omer. Hayom 35 yom shehem 5 shvuot la'omer. Today is the 35th day, which is 5 weeks of the Omer. Now, page 282 for Aleinu.
ואנחנו
thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. We remember the holy martyrs of every age of Jewish memory, from the Crusades to the Inquisition, from the English expulsion to the Russian pogroms, from the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem to the destruction of communities in the Holocaust. Those who have given their lives in defense of our nation and in defense of the state of Israel. We also take to heart the 413 Americans who lost their lives this week to gun violence. As we remember them all, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death, perhaps choosing one of the meditations on page 288 and following, or whichever words the heart may prompt. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. This week we remember those for whom we are observing a period of Shloshim, those who died in the last 30 days, John Van Sluten and Larry Drash. We also are commemorating the Yahrzeit, remembering the anniversary of their death for Roosevelt Ted Bach, Mardell Cohen, Sarah Averick Collin, Joy Dime, Harry Drucker, Harry Dwoskin, Mary Dwoskin, Edward Goldblatt, Yetta Green, Lucida Greenberg, Georgia Buganim Hockett, Leon Casorla, David Katrib, Eric Leviton, Audrey Michaud, Jerry Kapkin S. Muravnik, Estelle Ribowski, Richard N. Richon, Eddie Rochelle, Simon Rosenberg, Sarah Giddle Salzman, Helen Ethel Beryl Sherling, Sonia Sermon, Shirley Siegel, Ruth Stein, Melvin Tillis, Claire Warshawski, Meta Greif Windmiller, Vic Young. Are there any other names for Kaddish this evening? The memories of all of them are with us. Our griefs and sympathies are mingled as we rise as one community to remember all of those who our friends and neighbors have lost and to stand for those who have no one to stand for them. Kaddish Yatom Mourner's Kaddish is on page 294. Page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma di v'ra chirute v'yamlich malchute. B'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru.
Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Le'alam Ulamei Amaya.
Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmeid kudshah.
Grichu.
Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru.
Amen.
Yehei shlama rabbah min shmaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say,
Amen.
may be seated.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm Susan Slonim. I'm representing the members of the board, or the board of the directors. I would like to thank Larry Slonim for being an usher tonight, and our beautiful music, our piano by Catherine Klein, and our beautiful singing music by Jenna Sagan. I'd like to just remind you that there's the congregational meeting, May 22nd at 10 a.m. That's this Sunday.
I can't wait.
Me neither.
Congregational meeting.
It's so exciting. And it's not only in person, but it's also on Zoom. So I hope you are all here to represent our amazing congregation. And also the memorial service and meal of condolence will be Sunday, May 29th at 12 o'clock in person at CBT and streamed at cbtfv.org/streaming. Thank you very much, and Shabbat Shalom.
Yeah, I mentioned that every Friday night in May, we've got something exciting going on. Next week is our senior send-off, and just to be clear, that's high school seniors. So we're going to they're going to be wearing their college T-shirts. So I encourage y'all to do the same. Why not? Wear your college pride. I looked through my closet today. I don't have anything from Bradley University. Nothing at all. I don't. I think I might know where my degree is.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right. I'm here now.
Go Bruins.
Yeah, I don't even know what Bradley's mascot is anymore because it used to be something that they had to get rid of.
It's not so appropriate.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep. On that note, we're going to continue with Adon Olam on page 321 with all of your college pride.
Woohoo.
For Kiddush and Motzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho pe'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishi ki hu yom techila lemikrei kodesh zecher letziyat Mitzrayim ki banu b'charta Ve'otanu kidashta mikol ata Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat. It's grape juice. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Yesterday was Lag BaOmer. You can take a piece and eat if you want. The 33rd day of our counting of the Omer, and it is considered a break in the typical semi-morning practices of the rest of the Omer. Throughout the Omer, we're not supposed to shave, get a haircut, get married, or go to any wild parties. Lag BaOmer is a break in these practices. Haircuts and weddings are permitted, and many Jews will hold a bonfire celebration with all the marshmallows you can eat. After a 24 sticky finger short hair hours, Lag BaOmer is gone, not to return for another year. Not so for Shabbat. Shabbat will be back in just 1 week, fresh and clean and counting up once again. We look forward to seeing you live or online this week and every week. Thank you for being here. Shabbat Shalom.
You want a piece? take it in.
Keep your hands away from the flame, though.
There we go. There we go. Is that good? Yeah, you are. I do have it. I do. But see, most people are gone. I don't do it until people are gone. Are you throwing tradition in my face? Only you know my yeah, it's hard. It's hard. Okay, so we will be back. So July will be fantastic. Okay. If we had gotten Phyllis going early. I saw her on Wednesday. Heck yeah, absolutely. I just thought that was really cute. Why not? This is, somebody didn't put the thing in here. I was hoping it would be melted. Cool, but unless I take it back and just, or unless I melt it. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Woohoo! I knew that if I let it sit for a while. Yay! Oh, wow. That was a hit. Yeah. Good night. Oh wait, I have one little piece tucked in my hand. So are you doing trash? Yes. Let's put the trash, since it's all gone, I can put it in here. It does, it does. I can put this here. I'm going, okay. Actually, I have to go out and see if I can get a cookie. Oh, hopefully there, I'm sure there's something there. Good to see you too. Always. Yes. Yes, I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to put a little note, June 18th. I'll put a note and I'll